I'm Danny Kahn, a young retiree, 70 years old. My career was in two parts, in fact, 20 years education, 20 years in international relations for the Israeli Prime Minister office. And then I retired again. And when I retired, I decided to join NATAN because I found this organization fascinating. NATAN, as I said, is 100% volunteers. It means today 800 volunteers, all professionals. We are involved in medical care, primary care, psychosocial support, including training of social workers in post-trauma, which is always a very serious concern after a tragedy, education, of course, WASH. WASH is water and sanitation and hygiene. You know, when RME was created by Tony Senora and his friends, I think I heard about it by a relative, not so close to me, Alan Silverstein, in New Jersey, who met Tony Senora. And for me, it was so clear that we have to join this organization. First, because we are a multi-faith humanitarian group. We have people, Jews, Muslim, Christian, Arab Israelis who are Muslim and Christian, and we serve everyone. For the last 5 years, we work with the refugees, and we started with Syrian refugees. So it was absolutely obvious that we have to join RME. And there is this very famous African proverb, says it takes a village to raise a kid. And I believe it takes a big coalition to try to improve the education of the refugees, for the refugees, on the refugees. And we are very proud to be part of this coalition. It couldn't be else. We are the first Israeli organization there, and the first non-profit, I think. Our biggest experience, and the most significant, is the school we have built in Lesbos for the refugees. Just to understand the situation, Lesbos is the first island close to Turkey where most of the refugees flying from Turkey are landing. In Lesbos, there are two camps. One refugee camp is called Moria, which was built for to accept some 3,000 young men, and the other one for families is called Karatepe. It so happened that today there are in Moria 15,000 people. I remind you that it's built for 3,000. Families, children, whatever you can, all types of population. And Karatepe is a bit better. So we decided in 2015, in fact, to create their school in partnership with two youth movements, two Israeli youth movements. One is Jewish, called Hashomer Hatzayir, the other is Arabic, called Ajiyal. We built a school really from the scratch with containers that we adapted to be a classroom. The school is now until the corona and until the last tragedy, I will explain, had 250 children from the age 6 to 16. And the particularity is that this school, the teachers are refugees by themselves. And they are teaching in their own language. This school has been surveyed, more than that, researched by a group of academics from Israel. And you are asking about RME, so that's exactly where RME can be. because we are the field people, but we are also from the academy. And we have the people from the academy with us. They published 4 articles until now on this school, on this model. And we believe that this model should be duplicated. And that's a challenge I put on RME table. Let's go and duplicate it somewhere else in the world because the model works. First, education of young refugees by refugees themselves, refugees with personal experience and training in education. Meaning someone was an educator in Aleppo will be an educator in Lesbos. Bring his own skills. And then you have a group of young mentors from Israel, Jews and Arabs, who are also educators, licensed educators with experience. And they deal with the non-formal part of it and with the teachers' training. The school provide also meals and equipment, whatever is needed. Meaning it's a second home for the kids and for the parents. And the parents are a very central part of the education. I'll just give you a very short story from one of the parents who came to one of the mentors and told him, look, I had serious problems with my kids. They didn't understand. They left Syria when they were quite young, 3 years ago. And they don't understand our culture. We can't discuss with them openly. And since they're in the school, they speak a better Arabic. They understand the culture. They met other kids their age. And now the relations inside the family are better than they were. So that's part of the education. The other one is to prepare them to schools in Europe, whenever they will be accepted. The stress in the camps is unbearable. And by principle, we have decided to bus you say to busing, right? To take the kids from the camps to a neutral place. Our school is on top of the hill. It's 3 or 4 kilometers from Moria. It's 700 meters from Karatepe, the 2 camps, isolated. And that's the place of the kids. It's their place. They feel relaxed simply by entering the school. You know, one of the teachers was a refugee from Moria. He said, the half hour, the end of the day, when I know I have to return to the camp, I'm already stressful. March 17, this year. That was the beginning of the corona in Lesbos, but that was also the time of very serious demonstrations against refugees. And aside of this demonstration, our school was destroyed in arson, completely. Nothing remains. The day after, the refugees were closed in the camps, in quarantine. So in any case, the school couldn't continue. We are now in a situation that we want to build it back as soon as possible and to partner with a Greek organization in order to do it more connected to the authorities and more sustainable on the long term. RME and organizations like ours are the perfect combination to try to address the questions of education for refugees. Because we are able to develop models to work in the field and have the feedback from the academic side, but also to build the theory of the model around it. It's not a point if you have a small project for 250 kids somewhere in Greece when you have millions of kids around the world in a very similar situation. and each one is reinventing the wheel every day. I think that the whole world is reinventing the wheel every day, surely in education, surely when dealing with refugees. And the joint venture of academics and field people can solve this. You know, humanitarian work sometimes becomes volunteerism. You help yourself in going, helping the other. Not so sure how much the impact is there. Impact has to be studied very, very seriously. In order to do that, you need people who are trained for that, who are searching that all their life. And I welcome everyone who is ready to come to one of our projects and say, okay, let me study what you are doing, give you my answers, and I'll tell you what is good and what can be changed or should be changed. So that's exactly what I mean, in my eyes. The COVID will pass, refugees will stay, remain a major concern, and it's our future. And let's remember that almost all of us come from refugees. Most of the population in the US came from other countries, even if it's 3, 4, or 5 generations before. Still the roots are there. And look what beautiful work they did.